Hey guys, welcome back to the newsletter. After a spring of engagement and prep for tour season, just want to start by bringing you guys into what summer tour looked like, give you guys an update on what God was doing. We had a training week where we just prepped all of our teams for heading out to a summer of missions in their respective regions. And after a week of prep and evangelism and fellowship with each other, we had a rally in Grand Rapids. One really powerful testimony from our time of evangelism during the rally was this man who got healed of tendonitis in his knee. It was a 8 out of 10 pain and it went down to 0 pain. It was incredible. The night included even more healings and baptisms and freedom moments and salvation and breakthrough in all kinds of ways. It was amazing. What a powerful night. Isaiah also met this young man during evangelism and he gave his life to Jesus and also got baptized that night. We then drove through the night to our first stop in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This week was full of evangelism and fellowship with the local body and hosting worship nights and seeing the Lord move on the streets of Albuquerque. We ended the week with our Jesus rally with hundreds of people showing up, getting prayer for freedom, salvation, deliverance, healing. And here are some of my favorite testimonies from the week. Week 2 was Bismarck, North Dakota. We had never taken an Every Heart team there, but it was so fun to meet the local body there. We went evangelizing with them. We had to fellowship with them. We did flyering and we did door-to-door evangelism with them. We did evangelism trainings with them too. And one of the most powerful stories that we had on tour was when Isaiah met this homeless man and he gave his life to Jesus, got healed from a broken bone, and got free from an addiction in one encounter.
You know, guys moving. Yesterday, for example, we went to a rec center, me and some of my friends, and there were two 17-year-olds sitting at the front desk, but they both said that they are like a 7 on the scale of like where they would be at the fullness of a relationship with Jesus, and just got to like ask them like why they're not at a 10. Preach the gospel to them, and like it just clicked for both of them, and they both said that they wanted to respond, and then they both gave their lives to the Lord literally at a rec center while they were literally working.
Say it again, say it again, say it again.
When I asked about the relationship with Jesus, they weren't very confident. So they might have all 3 been first-time salvations.
Amen.
3 salvations.
We're saved now.
Then we had a historic Jesus rally in downtown Bismarck. Every Heart was the first group to ever do a Jesus-centered event. And here are some of my favorite testimonies. Next up was San Diego, week 3. We got to hang out with our local connections in the city, lead worship, evangelize, and share from stages what God has been doing in the cities.
Saw 3 younger dudes also walking to Chick-fil-A. I was like, yeah, they're getting the gospel, bro. Got their food and literally sat down with their food and they were ready to eat. And I was like, bro, you guys can eat. And they were like, no, we're good. Like, we're listening. I was like,
They were
like so hungry. They literally did not eat their food. I literally preached the gospel, and they like both believed in who Jesus was. They believed that he was a real person, but they just needed a real scope of what it actually meant to like count the cost and follow Jesus and what the gospel was. And we prayed, and then 2 people got saved, and then their one buddy got rededicated.
We ended the week with our Jesus rally on the beach, and here are some of my favorite testimonies from this week. Next week, we were in Boise, Idaho with another team. We had a mashup week where we did ministry with the West team. We were the Coastal West and they were the Mountain West, and we did evangelism. We helped lead local events. We did worship multiple times. We did evangelism trainings, evangelism with the body that was there. We led in prayer rooms and we led in other nights of worship amongst the youth that was there. And then we ended our week with a Jesus rally where I'll show you the numbers of the people that came, and we saw freedom and healing and deliverance and salvation. It was a huge turnout and it was an amazing night. We got to baptize people in the river afterwards and it was awesome. We hit the road and our next stop was Huntington Beach, California, where we got to partner with a local church there that was so hospitable and so amazing. We did a couple events with them worship-wise. We also got to take our team to In-N-Out, and we got to partner with other local bodies as well, evangelizing on piers and beaches in downtown Huntington Beach a lot. Isaiah and I got to minister together a lot too. And we got to also celebrate the 4th of July as a family and got to hang out with our connections as well, which was super fun, and see the 4th of July fireworks. Isaiah also got the opportunity to minister to 400-ish people at a Zeal night with the youth that were there, and I got to help lead worship as well for that. Here are the numbers and the amazing testimonies that we saw in Huntington Beach. I also felt led to include other faith-building testimonies from other cities too, so here are some of those.
Tonight was impactful and powerful. I had a guy get delivered from the meth addiction that he's had for probably over 7+ years. And then we led him to continue to pray at the altar, and he just broke down in the presence of God. And that ended up going all the way to baptism. So he ended up baptizing his life, giving his life directly back to Christ again.
Hey guys, it's Manny. I was preaching the gospel in Hamburg last week, and I met this guy who had skin cancer, and I came to know that he was already a believer. And so I told him that I would believe that God could heal him in that moment. And so the only way that he could know that he was healed is if his skin marks of his skin cancer would actually leave, and if he felt relief in his body for the first time in 10 years. And so I prayed, God moved in power and touched him, and he was physically healed. The skin marks on his hand left, and he felt relief for the first time in 10 years. Let's go!
Hallelujah. And then we got to go to Los Angeles, California, where we got to go to the World Cup and preach the gospel. We got to go to the streets of Melrose and other beaches and preach the gospel as well. And we got to partner with our friends at the local church and got to lead worship for Sunday. And then we also got to see lots of deliverances and freedom and salvation and healing. And I'll show you guys the numbers. One of the most powerful evangelism moments I've ever had was with this homeless woman in Los Angeles, and my friend Siju and I got to give her a Bible and just share the gospel with her and encourage her. It was so much fun to lead worship in the Azusa Street prayer room in Los Angeles, where all the revival history happened. I'll include testimonies and numbers from our week in Los Angeles plus our week in Sacramento, California as well. Hey guys, this is San Francisco, final week of tour, and I'll hop on here and give you guys an update as to what God's been doing this summer. From this week was a physical healing that we saw when we were in the Tenderloin, and we were just open worshiping in the streets, in the grittiest part right outside of YWAM, San Francisco. Worshipped, and that people got to meet the Lord and hear the gospel and get free. We got to go to a church service where we got to share testimonies of what God's been doing this summer, and one testimony I got to share was a physical healing I saw on Venice Beach. This guy's arm was 100% fully restored after having tingling and just like some residual pain from his motorcycle accident that he had a year prior. And when I was sharing that testimony from the front of the room, I just felt like the Lord to ask the room if there's anybody that also needed physical healing in their body. Several hands shot up, and after I prayed that the Lord would touch their bodies and that there would be pain relief and that there would be more mobility, I saw several hands shoot up that they did feel a touch from God, that they did have pain lessened in their body, that they did have more mobility. And specifically, this man said that there's no more clicking in his shoulder, and this one woman said that she didn't have pain anymore in her body, and other testimonies of God really touching people's bodies in a really tangible way that left them with their faith built and their hope restored that God really is a healing God. I'm just going to share some other testimonies too of what we've seen God do all across America: healing, freedom, salvation, deliverance, incredible gospel seed planting stories of people encountering God, like us being answers to people's prayers. Like, wow, I was looking for a sign and you just approached me and talked to me about Jesus. Like, these stories are just things that we've seen all over America. Just want to be so grateful to you guys for just remembering me in prayer, for having faith in what God is doing in the Every Heart movement on these tours this summer. It's so incredible, you guys, and just want to share these testimonies to build faith, just to give God glory. And everything from people getting discipled on our tour team to people on our own team experiencing physical healing, freedom, people getting like commissioned into their futures when they get back home, learning to have a lifestyle of evangelism so that not only on summer tours they're burning for the Lord, so that when they get back home to their campuses and their homes and their families and their workplaces, that these kids are experiencing the love of God and encountering Jesus and helping other people to see him rightly wherever they're going back home, wherever they're planted. And that's so important to us as leadership on this team. Keep you guys current, keep you guys updated, and thank you for praying for me as I juggle leading this team team, evangelizing on the streets, seeing people met with the love of Jesus, giving my yes to tour, and then also providing for meals for the team, also doing the finances for the team, planning for when I get back home, where I'll be continuing to be on staff with Every Heart Movement this fall, but then also just planning my wedding and staying updated with people back at home and friendship and family and such. So thanks guys for praying for me. I really so love you guys, so appreciate what you guys are sowing into prayerfully and financially into my life. So thankful. I love you guys. Thanks so much for staying updated, praying for each one of you guys. Guys, thanks so much for following. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Because the gospel is the power to save. I don't even know the number. Ellie, throw it up there. This is how many people heard the